And we are live. You can catch us on YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, Kick, and Facebook. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be right back with you, Howlers. Mic check, mic check. Sorry, guys, we had some technical difficulties, but I just want to make sure we're good and there's no feedback. Okay, Howls over Baaz. I'm Jacob Casas, and this is Dad Academy. This is we're going to be doing Dad Academy for the whole day and tonight. So I'm going to go around the room and I'm going to have you kind of open up. Jeff, why don't you explain a little bit what we're doing, and then we'll jump around and go from there.
Yo, hey everybody, Jeff Hamilton with Dad Academy. And it's our monthly time that we get together. And last time that we were talking, we've always been talking about like how do we turn these segments right into something a little bit more. And we thought maybe like leading into Father's Day, that it would be something maybe just to. I'm sorry for some of our male audience that usually watches for a better looking guest than the ones that we've got around the table tonight. But that we would do something that's specifically to like encourage guys, right? There's not a lot of safe places for guys just to kind of get together, to talk, to kind of laugh and to share our journey. Every time we've done that, man, we've gotten great feedback on the podcast. And so in honor of Father's Day, we're just going to like give some of the attention to what it's like I don't know what it's like to be a mom, but I can definitely tell you that my wife does not understand what it's like to be a dad, what it's like to be a man, what it's like to have to carry the weight that I kind of carry, to be who I'm supposed to be for all of the people that God has made me responsible for. I think it's something that guys have in common, that we share that journey. So tonight's going to be pretty dope. Two segments just talking about guy stuff.
And what's cool is Jeff's co-hosting with me today. So he's not a guest. He's co-hosting, and this is the first time for that.
Take that, Melanie. Take that, Melanie. Take that, Millie. No, I'm just kidding. Love it. I miss y'all tonight. But how dope, like, going into Father's Day. I know that we had a little segment, but, like, I don't know how many times, like, we have not just guys who are dads, but we have the dad of the podcast dad tonight.
Yeah.
And so sitting next to me on my left is Victor Casas, man. Jacob's dad.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, Dad, to the audience. Tell them a little about who you are and what you do.
My name is Victor Casas. I work for Fix It Diesel, and that's pretty much my life right now. And it's been talking about weight. That's a lot of weight. And so that's pretty much it.
You want to tell them too how you're going to be pastoring for Pastor Dennis, and you go to New Life and things like that.
Yeah. I don't know how many of you guys know about who Dennis is, but I know he does. I already forgot your name already.
Jeff.
Okay. So I guess Jeff's known them for a long time. I've known Dennis for 9 years now, and he's a good guy. It's New Life in Redlands, so if you guys are interested, it's a good church, man. The guy's a good guy. I mean, he's for real. And can I share a story with it?
Yeah.
What really made me, there's a lot of people out there who just play church on Sundays and go to church. In fact, most people do. But one time we went out to eat. He invited us out to dinner. So we went to Cafe Rio in Redlands. And, we went there, ordered our food, and everything was cool. We're ordering it. We're sitting out there waiting 15, 20, 30 minutes, and finally we go in. Hey, what's going on? Oh, we're a little behind. Everything's. We'll take care of you guys. Everything's cool. We go there again, like another 15, 20 minutes, and same thing. Then we go back in there again for the third time. And by this time, there's a big crowd of people. They're just hovering around him. The girl behind the stove is literally crying. And Dennis walks up there. And me, I'm ready to chew him out just like everybody else is doing. But Dennis walks up there, and he just starts showing her, just giving her like encouraging her. She starts encouraging her and telling her, "You're great, man. You're doing good. Don't worry about all these other people." And this girl, before I knew it, man, she's literally dancing, walking back to her stove, and I'm saying, "What just happened?" And I've never seen anything like that. It just blew me away. And I know none of you guys have ever experienced anything like that. So when we go in and get something to eat, we expect, everything. We wait for a light. What it is, a minute and a half sometimes. That's a long light. 10, 15 seconds. That guy's not moving in a second. You're honking your horn, right? Yep. I mean, but this guy showed me he was real, and not just pretending. Because I was real too that day. I was ready to chew him out. I was going to go there and just say, "What's going on? What are you guys doing back here?" But not him. And I never experienced that. And that just said, and I told my wife after we left, I go, I've never even met anybody like this. I go, it just blew my mind. And that's what really it was a different level. I know this guy was real. Yeah. Some people are not.
Pastor Dennis Evangelisto at New Life Redlands, man, he is the real deal. We've been friends for a long time. And I remember one time I was tuning into the live stream at the church, and I'm like, "Hey, that's Jacob's dad preaching at the church," and it's just a really, really cool, really cool thing. So we're dope. So excited to have you tonight, and also two other friends I want to introduce to Jacob, Sam Shinhofen, and Brandon Burgess. Social media handle is a Dangerous Dads. It has to do with their breath primarily. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, don't talk about Brandon. That's not cool.
Hey, why don't you guys introduce yourselves a little bit?
You go first, man. Go for it.
My name's Sam. Proud dad of an 8-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And it's been a fun and wild journey of split home, learning the journey of that. And business owner. And I get to partner with this guy in business and work, and we get to do a thing called Dangerous Dads, where we celebrate the fact that being a dad is actually dangerous. And it could be, especially to a lot of, I guess, nurturing mom's eyes, especially nowadays, the things that, we're willing to do. I think that's something that needs to be celebrated, is dads being dangerous. Like, if you mess with my kid, that's going to get dangerous, and it should be. But that's who I am, and I'm happy to be here. Happy to meet you, man.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
And hopefully we have some fun tonight. And forgive Brandon for if he says anything, emotional.
Emotional maybe, but I was going to say something to get in trouble. That's going to be you, Sam. So
Sam's the troublemaker. I'm the crier, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
He said
we're going to talk about that tonight.
Well, he told me he wasn't crying. It was just raining on his face.
I'm in.
So bad.
Thank you,
so
John.
bad.
I didn't know that deserved that.
That didn't deserve it.
That's your dad joke for today.
All right, Brandon.
Well, we'll see how many you can squeeze.
That was your dad joke. I like that.
No, my name's Brandon Burgess, and Dangerous Dads was like something we kind of did for passion. And Dangerous Dads is like living for your values. And we felt in this culture sometimes that's kind of difficult and seen as dangerous, because you got to stand up for things, be a part of that, and love your kids. And so we've been doing that for, I don't know how many, 2 years. We started and then did millions of views, and then got caught up into the world that we work in. And we run a lot of businesses together and have a blast. And this guy's going to be modest, but he's built empires of businesses, and his family has too. And it's been an honor to work with him and be a part of that. And I had my own business, but I was lonely, all by myself. Running a business, as you guys probably know, is not easy. And so I was like always praying for community. And then this guy comes along, and I told my wife, I was like, I know I've spent 10 years building this client list, but I want to work with community. And if that means less, then I'm completely okay with that. And so we prayed it out, and then we've been here kicking butt, taking names for a while as dads. And I got 3 kids and 3 boys, and they are the adventure. And I thought I had values with careers and dreams and aspirations. As soon as they came into my life, I was like, man, I just want to be home with my kids, having a blast with them. And so that's me. And so,
Welcome to the show too.
yeah, thank you for having me.
Hey, we should shout out who's on the. We already have some chat going on.
Chat's in
So
there.
thanks to the Scrap Pack Fight Club 7680 for the comments. Glad to have you, man. I think you'll enjoy tonight's segment. And so I know that says the co-host, but Sam probably diagnosed this as soon as we came in. That's usually PJ that runs the right, especially when I don't have no girls to compete with. So one of the things that we have been sharing has been all the way since September. So we've been doing this together now, like 7 months, 8 months. And you've been pretty vulnerable about kind of sharing your story, not just as a dad, but about our journey as a man. And Jacob, if you don't mind, I think one of the things that a lot of us have in common in our story is this journey about how, when life as a man gets so difficult, that we just medicate, right? That the numbers are crazy about the numbers of guys who are addicted to porn, let alone alcoholism, let alone
Women
dabbling in drugs. Yeah, whatever it takes, where we find some kind of identity. And would you mind just recapping for the listeners and for Brandon and for Sam, kind of your journey about, like, it's only been recently that you've really taken a hard step towards not just like sobriety, but of just living with a new level of kind of self-control and reprioritizing your life around certain values. What's that been like for the last couple of months for you?
It's been different for sure. I've stopped drinking. I stopped drinking. It's been 8 months now. I've stopped drinking before, like for a year, another like 8 months before. But I knew at some point I was going to drink again. It wasn't like a big deal to me. Like, I was trying to better my marriage at the time, or better myself, and I was trying to stop during that time. But I knew in my mind, well, I'm going to drink again. It's just I'm trying to do something right now, right? But this round, I stopped permanently. I was like, I'm done. I'm never going to drink again. It's over. I promised both my kids I was going to stop drinking. So that was it. I was like, well, I have to be a man of my word, especially to them. That's how I am with them. And they made me promise them separately. I mean, they didn't make me, but that's how it was. They'll promise me, and I promised each one of them separately. So I was like, and so this round, knowing that I'm never going to drink again is like, is different. Like, I'm seeing life different. I know, okay, this is something I got to get used to. I'm used to being around a lot of women, so then I'm used to drinking and talking to women, doing kind of being how I want to be, you know. And I feel like it gives me like a different, I don't know. It's weird being sober around everything now, because when problems come up with business and stuff, drink. You know, when I'm having a good time, drink. Stress, drink. Sad, drink. Anything, drink. That's just like coping for everything, and it kind of gets you through. Like, after a while, like a year passed by, you drank your whole year through it, you know. This time it's like I'm seeing everything, and everything was kind of hitting me at once. Like, but I'm learning. I'm not doing it exactly how I should be, but I am learning to like lean more on God on that. I'm starting to lean on certain things. He's like, I'm able to hear him more because I'm not like hungover or drunk. I feel like he's really starting to speak to me, like even more recently this last like couple weeks. So things are changing in me, but alcohol, I think it's just bad. Like, well, for anybody, our family, I feel like we like the blood, like our blood or something. It's like it just destroys our lives. It's like we take it. It's like we either do it like we don't do anything like half. We always put the pedal to the metal on everything we do. So when I'm drinking, I'm putting my pedal to the metal. I am going hardcore. There's no just drinking to socialize. I'm drinking to party, right? And that's what I was doing. So it's still, I still want to drink all the time.
Yeah.
I'm around certain things I want to drink. I just look at it like I get soda water. I try to anything I can to figure out how I'm not going to drink, right? But like, yeah, I'm not drinking. I made a promise. It is what it is. I know I'm not going to. It's just I'm doing this one. This is what it is now. But I am learning. Like, I feel like I missed out on a lot. Like, even though I'm really close to my kids, I've always been. but I feel like I missed a lot on like really seeing them sober. You know what I mean? Like being around them all the time and understanding and putting more life into them. Yeah, I feel like you can always put more into them, you know. And I feel like I should have did more, but now I'm trying to. But don't get me wrong, I've always been very close to them. We have a great relationship. They don't really look at it like that, but I do. You know, I look at it as I want to put everything I can into them and help them because dude, we only get a certain amount of time with them, and they grow up and gone. They have their own lives. You know, everything's going to be different, and so I'm trying to put everything I possibly can into them. And I think that's like my most important job here on this earth is being the best dad I can be to them.
Yeah. Victor, what have you been like watching Jacob as an adult man and going through the journey of like being a dad and you work with your son and like what's it been like for you compared to his childhood to watching him grow up and navigate his own life, and now that you are, a leader of men at your church, how do these things all kind of tie together for you?
That's a good question. I don't know what do you mean by tie together, because when I see Jacob, that's the best way I could say it. When I see Jacob, I see a fighter. I've never seen anybody fight like he fights. He has the strength. He has wisdom. You know, he can use some order in his life, but he's a fighter, man, and that's the biggest thing that I always thought when they were little that I wanted always them to learn how to fight, because I wanted them to not only do it physically, but I wanted them to do it mentally when they grew up, which I didn't do till later on, but I wanted them to do that. And I've seen him go through some stuff that I would have just thrown in the towel years and years ago. He's stronger than me. He has more determination than any man I've ever met, and that's just with anybody. So when I see Jacob, I see a fighter, and I see a man who's not going to give in to nothing, and no one is going to deter him, and no one is going to take anything from him, because he's a fighter.
I think I don't know what that little moment is for you right there. Brandon, did you like infect him with teary eyes right now? Or
No.
But like hearing those kind of words from your dad, like hearing your dad compliment you on what kind of man that you've become. I don't care how old you become, like that's still a really important part of our lives. You mentioned something earlier that maybe you didn't help that journey, or you didn't come to that until later in your life. What part of your story, Victor, would you be willing to share with us about kind of your life journey and about when they were little, or watching them grow up? What was kind of your...
Well, I wasn't, I've always wanted them to fight. I always wanted them to take care of. I never worried about them because they can do, I just didn't think I had to worry about them. Let them jump off roofs, let them, whatever they wanted to do, I pretty much let them do, because I don't know, for some reason, I just was different, and I used to drink a lot. I smoked, I used, I did a lot of things, not right. But these guys, I got a long story, and you guys ain't have to have time for that. But 2003, I came to the conclusion that, I can't stop doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna embrace what I'm doing, and that's how I'm gonna go out. I'm good with that, and at that moment in time, the Lord spoke to me and said, "Give me 30 minutes of your life, and I'll change your life."
Ooh.
And I knew exactly what that meant. So I said, "Okay, I'll give you 30 minutes of my life, but I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep doing it, because I tried to quit 50, 60, 70 times. Who knows how many times? And I never can do it." And so I started getting up 30 minutes earlier, because I didn't want him to interrupt my rest of my day. And so I started reading the Word and started praying. And then I'd go throughout my day drinking, whatever I did. I didn't care. And about 3 months into this journey, I did it every single day. I woke up one morning completely set free.
Wow.
That was 23 years ago, 2003. And I never looked back. It's just I don't have the craving. I don't have the desire. I don't have anything. I started going to the men's prisons and jails and started sharing my story with them about the 30 minutes a day. And God really just changed my life. I mean, it just, the Bible's a manual of life. It's like a book that you would use to fix a car, but it's for the human race. It's for you. It's for us, for eternity. It has one story in it, pretty much who Jesus is. It's all about him, all about him. From the beginning in the Old Testament, he's throughout the whole book. He's throughout the New Testament. It's just like, I can't even explain what he's done in my life. But, with my kids, I had I restored my relationship with my sons, my wife. I've been married to her for 37 years now. And it's just been a journey. And then she's left me. We've fighting. I mean, I've done things that I'm not proud of. In fact, I'm ashamed of that I've lived. We have another son. He's 20 years old. I'm teaching. I still believe in fighting. I tell him, go jujitsu with Michael. Go, fight. Learn how to fight because I told him, you're alone, dude. You got nobody around you. You're alone. And your brothers are 20 years older. It's like a dad. I go, they're not gonna be there. I go, you need to take care of yourself. I go, I'm only gonna be here for so long, but it's gonna be you. So he's actually, listened to me, and now him on the other hand, I worry about this kid crossing the street. I mean, he just gets on. I look at him and I'm worried about him. When he goes out, I'm worried about him. To this day, he works for Chili's, and he gets home like 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30. Who's up? I get up, make sure he's home. I'm looking at my phone, making sure he's driving home. I'm still I do this every single night, and it's to this day I've just. I get up. Sometimes I'll go in there and I'll have a conversation with him. I get to share the Lord. He's smoking pot. He's 20 years old and smoking pot and doing things he shouldn't do. He grew up in the Lord. We've taken him to church, did all these things, but the Lord just said, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because I got him. You just keep doing what you're doing. So I share the Lord with him, and he's actually he goes to church every now and then now. But he knows who God. In fact, he sent me a text today and said that one of his cousins are going through some stuff, and I asked her if you would talk with her, so she's probably going to call you. I wanted to share with her, but I really don't know. I go, everybody's a minister. Everybody. I go, the beginning, you know what you need to do, and that's what you need to share with her.
Yeah.
So I just say something.
Well, that was amazing. So the 30. So you were still doing drugs. Drinking, and just spent 30 minutes a day.
Sober.
You were sober?
No, sober for 30 minutes.
That's it. see, that's what I love that, because I think most churches would have shamed you.
Yeah.
Like they would have been like, you can't like come in here because you're not clean yet.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's that reading the word is what cleaned you.
Yeah. It literally, I mean, but it's adding, it's not about, it's adding something to your life. I mean, people don't understand that churches are like if you're sick, you go to the hospital. When everybody that goes to church is literally sick, they need help.
Oh, the sickest people are in the church. I mean, did you met him?
Yeah. and that's why we go, because we're not perfect. If we were perfect, we don't need church.
Yeah.
Why would you want to go to church if you have everything in order?
But the common thing is like everyone in church is hypocrites, which is true. like isn't it like we all are struggling in some form, but
we're only hypocrites if we pretend like we don't have anything.
But
right. But the church should be a safe place to be authentic. And yes, it is. I agree with you. Like we fake this thing a lot, and we live with all these kind of expectations because our culture. We talk about this a lot on the pod. About our culture, we're programmed with this idea of perform for love, that my worth and my value is based on my performance. And so even at church, right, if I look good, then I must be good. And we rarely get to see the process of what God does in literally cleaning our lives up if we give enough time in the process. Continue on, Sam, because I know that this is, you grew up in church too, right?
Yeah.
And so like, and it's been a kind of a love-hate relationship with you,
Well,
with church, maybe not Jesus, but like, what's your story?
So I struggled with cocaine for a while, and the only way that I got free from that was literally I had like a spiritual mom, who I would come home like 5 a.m, coked out of my mind.
Like
And
your mom is a spiritual woman.
like no, a spiritual mom. So like someone I met. It wasn't even my own mom.
Okay.
It was someone I met at a church who became like kind of just somebody that like mentored me.
mentor.
Yeah, like sent me a text like when I got home and said, "Son, I know what you did tonight. God knows what you did tonight, but I love you and I'm proud of you, and He loves you and He's proud of you." But like knowing God loved me and proud of me in like the darkest moment of my life, like made it so like cocaine fell off.
He's in the darkest moment with you. That's
Yeah.
what people don't understand that. I mean, all our days are written out. There's nothing you're going to do that he doesn't know about, that he already knew before this world was even created. Every single step, every single thought. You read Psalms 139. It's probably one of my favorite chapter of the Bible. It just explains why I got 7 brothers and 5 sisters, stepbrothers, half brothers, the brothers that I just barely found out they were my brother.
So your dad was like in it to win it.
He got it. One of them, he was in jail, came out of jail, and he went and hung out. He had this pen partner.
How does that? I think if you go to jail, you get more girls in jail than you do out of jail.
He goes in, lives with her for a week, lays her, and he has a kid. And then I just found out last year I had a brother in L.A. that I just barely talked to him, and I haven't even met yet. It's just. The thing is that most people think that people who go to church are hypocrites, but they don't realize that we have church to come together with people who believe like we believe. And then if you're going through a struggle, hey, but that guy said he went through a cocaine struggle. How did he get out of it? He starts sharing you what God did in his life. And go, wait, maybe I can try that. Maybe I can try this, how God led him out of addiction, or how God led him out of porn, or how did he get out of drinking. I mean, these are the things that we go to church to come together with other believers where we can unite as one, and it says iron sharpens iron. And that way that person could, hey, wait a minute, that guy's been through I do a men's group every Saturday. And we talk about, hey, what happened this week? I've been dealing with porn and all. Okay, there's and my solution always is get into the Word. The more you get into the Word, the more God opens up, and you start finding your identity. I mean, you got the book of Proverbs. It teaches you wisdom, knowledge, understanding, discernment, and common sense. That whole book, it says that's what it's for.
Yeah.
It says that's what it's for. All those 5 things. People don't get that. And then I said, well, who is Jesus? Read St. John. Who am I? Then you read book of Romans. Read the book of Romans. It tells you who you are in Christ. These are books that are set there. So when we stand before God, well, how many Bibles did you have in your house? Oh, I don't know, 3 or 4. Every answer you can possibly have will come from there. But the cool thing is, like, this job, working with my son, it's tough, man. It's tough. And if I couldn't, I pray over this place. I seek God. I pray for him. I pray for him. I pray for my other son, Michael. I pray for my son, David. It's just, but if God just says, hey, this is what I brought you for. You belong here. You belong here. And where you're at, it's not a surprise to me. This day was going to be like this no matter what, because that's what it is. But you just keep moving forward. I feel like I'm paddling a boat that's sinking and the water's going in too fast.
See, that's cool. So you're like preaching on Sunday, but still feels like he's in a boat sinking.
Yeah. I'm a broken person, dude. I'm just a normal person. When I go up there, I tell them I'm not no theologian, I'm not no scholar. I'm just a man who's broken. And I'm going to be preaching on one verse for 3 weeks in a row. It's going to be to love the Lord with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, and all your strength. Those are they're going to be, and I'm going to break them all down because it all matters with the heart. It matters with it's the core, your mind, your thought process. Your strength is actually the strength that comes from God. But then your soul is your identity. where all of it forms and it comes into one. And it's mind blowing on that. But if you want to know, you want to understand yourself, read the book of Psalms 139. It helped me to understand why I had my mother, and why the things, how I grew up with my dad, where I didn't meet till I was, 8 or 9 years old. I've seen him a dozen times my whole life. He lived 30 minutes away from me. But it just helped me to understand this is where I'm supposed to be.
The second time you brought up Psalm 139, Proverbs actually says, we didn't know we were going to have church tonight, but Proverbs says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Yeah. Wisdom,
Right,
yeah.
the beginning of wisdom. And Psalm 139 talks about how we have been fearfully and wonderfully made, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, what is the fear of God? This is a really powerful moment for a guy when you start speaking about our identity, because what is the fear of God? It's not being afraid of him like in a horror movie, like with
Like disappointing them, like a father.
It's
Like disappointment.
no, the fear of God is the reverence and the awe, right? Like when
Yeah.
you were just like,
I
it just
knew about
takes
the
your,
reverence,
it
but I
just
didn't hear about
takes
the
your,
awe. I like that.
it just takes your breath away. Like I remember feeling awe when I held my son for the first time. It was like, whoa! I both felt a joy, and I felt a weight. Right? You guys remember like you're looking at this and be like,
I remember that.
Whoa!
Like
This
yesterday.
is heavy. Like not the baby. Like there's a whole new thing that I didn't know about. That's a righteous fear. And when we think about God, everybody talks about God as love and all this kind of stuff, and I love that. He is, but he's also holy, which also means that he's complete. There's nothing missing. There's no gaps. And the fear of God means the respect or the reverence, or that you actually hold God in awe, A-W-E, right? Now, here's what's interesting. And he says that that's the beginning of wisdom, that you'll never have wisdom in your life until you put God in his proper place, until you see him for who he really is, which is who he really is not you, right? Not me. Then there's this powerful thing. Genesis says that we've been made in the image of God. We've been made to reflect him, right? We're made in his image. In Psalm 139, he says that we are, what's the first word, Victor? When we're made, we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yeah.
Get this. I hope this gets into us in the room, into our hearts, and I hope it gets into especially our guy Raiden. Bro, I want you to listen to this.
Raiden, how you doing, Raiden? Thanks. He's from Power Slap. He's one of the guests we had on the show.
Oh, dope, man. We'll get.
He's a dad, too.
God said that He's made you wonderfully, right? Like it's but that you've been made fearfully. What does I mean by that? The same reverence and respect that we have towards God when we think about his goodness and when we think about his greatness, and when God looks at us with awe. Like holding the baby. All of us dads in the room know what it's like. Like, whoa, what just happened? And that God, who created everything, looks at us and goes,
To add to that,
that's awesome.
you have it says the thoughts of you were more than the sand, the grains of sand.
Yes.
When I read that, the following week I came to California. I went to the beach and I picked up a handful of sand, and I thought, I can't even count the grains in this handful. And then I thought about all the beaches, and then I thought about all the deserts. And I thought, he put that much thought into me. He knew exactly everything that I was going to do, and he knew how bad I was going to mess up. He still put that much thought and just said, this is how you're going to be. He did it to you, that much thought for you, each one of us. That's how much thought he put into us before we were created. And he created everything. And that just blew me away. That helped me understand why I was put where I was put, why the kind of parents I had, why the family I had, and everything that good. It just, okay, you know what? It made me who I am today. And it's continued. I'm still I'm 66 years old. I'm gonna be 67, and I still feel like I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing, and it blows me away.
So I caught something when you were talking about your dad. So you're 66, and you were saying your dad lived 30 minutes from you, but you met him 12 times.
Yeah.
But when you said it, it looked like it still hurt.
Oh yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want to see their dad? I mean, when he died in 2008. You know, I was like one of the times, the last time I seen him, I said, hey, he came to Utah visit my other brother, and I said he came to visit me, and I said, hey, you wanna? I got 5 bedrooms here, just 3 of us. You want a room? And he said, nah. He said, nah. I said, all right. So where did he go? He went to this place in Long Beach, where it looked like a insane asylum. You've been there.
Yeah, I went and visited him there.
And all these crazy people are in. He'd rather been there than be with one of his. Yeah, it bothers me, but I still, I've learned how to. I wish I could have known him. You know, it's funny how even though you don't see him, you wish, man, I wish I knew. But then I found out what was his problem. I found out he was in Vietnam, served 2 tours. He used to be the little grunt, the little rat that would go into the mountains in the hole the first time.
Tunnels,
so he was the first one because he was a small little guy. So he would go into it, and he just couldn't get over it. You know, it helped me understand him more. And I was going, okay, that made sense. And then that way, him and I, finally got to talk. Went to a baseball game, and I seen him a few more times before he died. So that was good. That was good.
So what's like? So that, like, your dad, sometimes you feel like I feel like a mess up as a dad, and you feel scared to have a relationship. Like, if you did something wrong, you feel scared to have a relationship. And I think, like, I feel like I'm
constantly with who?
Like my kid. Like, I feel like I'm constantly, like, when I fell in a certain way, I'm constantly struggling to, like, choose connection again. Like, to choose to actually, like, go back and connect with my daughter. Like, I had an incident where domestic violence thing where I went to jail, and my daughter, like, it's probably she talks about it a lot, and it's like the shame in me in that thing wants to just run and hide as a dad, like run and hide, and not stay connected to my daughter. And I think, like, it's hard because, like, you're 66 years old, and when you said that, I could see it in your face, like, but it's like shame can destroy connection, and we all need connection so bad. Like, you're a 66-year-old man that, like, wanted connection. Like, I saw, like, pain in that, so it's like, how, like, I don't know. So it takes me back to that, like, when I'm struggling to connect and not let that thing I want to turn around and just cover my head, and not connect. And I don't know how many men love their kids, like, sincerely love their kids, but don't know how to get over that.
Do you know there's 2 different things. There's conviction and there's condemnation. The Holy Spirit gives you conviction, says, hey, yeah, you blew it. Brush yourself off, get up, and keep moving forward. Then there's condemnation. You blow it, you are never going to get over it. Your daughter is going to hate you for the rest of your life. I wouldn't even try to fix that, because you can't. Strength comes when you get over that and just say, you know what, I need to keep moving forward, because you never would. It's like having a scar in your hand. That scar is always going to be there, and it's never. But it should just be a reminder of what not to do again. It should be your strength point that says, you know what, that's a reminding me to keep up, and I'm gonna get up, and I'm gonna move forward, and I'm gonna be a better father, and not look at that past, what I've done before. But I'm not gonna forget it, because people think that, oh, I need to forget that. No, you need to just be reminded not to do it again. Sometimes that's what the scar is for. You have scars on you, right?
Yes. No, I'm pretty flawless.
No. But you know what I mean? What I'm saying? I mean, because that's what we need to keep. I mean, because if I was to allow everything to condemn me, I could never move forward. I mean,
Yeah.
I would still be drinking. I'd still be using. I'd still be doing all that stuff.
I feel like that's like a way like I choose to live my life. I feel like if I look out the outside of what I'm doing or what's even happening right now, I could fall apart. But I know if I just keep blinders on, just keep going. That's how I keep going in everything. And I feel like even as a dad, with my kids, like I feel like I don't have the luxury to really look back. I have to make sure that I build them up and speak life to them the best way I possibly can every day. I feel like every day, like that's how I am with them. From even today, like every morning I used to hate having to take them to school in the morning because I was always rushing to come to work. It was the biggest thing for me. I was like, man, I got to take them to school now because I'm a single dad now. So for the last 5 years, I've been taking them to school. That drive to school is like the best day of my life. Every single day, I look forward to it. We laugh, we joke around, we have fun on the way. We talk about things. I mean, it's like, and I know that. But see, the thing is, I feel like I understand that that time is limited. I know one day that time is not going to be there because they're going to be grown. So I enjoy my time with them all the time. I embrace it. I try to live in that moment. And I wish I would have done that when they were even smaller, but they're still young enough. But at the same time, I did. Even back then, I still did. But at some point, I feel like it just was recognized in my brain. And I'm like, why do other parents not see this? I always see parents complain about their kids and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, I love spending time with them. I love that time. And the thing is, they need it. Like, I remember me and my dad had a rough relationship when I was a kid. But there was things that he would say to me that I would never forget. Because that was like moments we had. So I still even remember till this day conversations we'd have. He'd be like, hey, come wash dishes with me. And I have to dry them or I'd wash them or vice versa. And we'd have like really deep conversations. So I understand how important it is to have those conversations with your kids because those things I remember for the rest of my life. So when I talk to my kids and they tell me, my son's like, I remember when you told me this when I was like 6. I'm like, how do you remember something I told you when you were 6? You're 16 now. Like, what? But he holds onto it like a sponge. He's like, yeah, your voice is in my head when I'm running, and I got to do this. Like, I'm like, dude, my voice is in your head. Like, that's crazy to even think about. So I know how important it is. That's why it's like spending that time with them. That's all they want. They don't give it. They don't care. We're all. I feel like we're all broken and beat up and everything. Yeah. All they want is your time. That's all they want is your time. You think that we think all this crazy stuff, that all this stuff just that throws in our head. They just want our time. That's all they want from us. And they need it because it affects them in the future when they're an adult.
Yeah, I resonate with that. I feel like most people today aren't present. And if you look at the shame or the situations in your life, it's something you're kind of running away from. So you can't be present. And even with kids, when I had kids, I was like, I'm an A to B, like me and Sam. Go, 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 hurry, 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 next thing, next thing, next thing. I resonated with the morning thing. I'm not there on time. The kids are in my way. They're not getting in the car fast enough. They're crying about some toy that's in the house. You got to go get the toy. Or if you're not, you're like, no, we're not getting the toy. We got to go. And then they're crying. I realize no one's really present. Yeah. Like almost everybody that I meet, like it's like they drew me back to be present. My kids did. And so even like your sufferings, your pain and all that, when you want to drink, it's like you're wanting to get away from something. And that was sometimes me running to work was me trying to get away from something that I don't
absence is another medication.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't just have to do with some type of something that inebriates or you know.
Yeah, mine's work.
Exactly right.
I love work.
Me too.
So how many guys find themselves in that kind of journey? And yet, like Sam, like there's this pull, like I want to connect, and yet what I also don't want to do is to do harm, right? Because it seems like that's what she remembers. That's not what she remembers. That's a self-defense mechanism that every person learns, even as a child.
And even if she does remember, it doesn't matter. She still wants your time.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like we have to pay for consequences. We messed up. We pay for it. We're gonna hear it every once in a while. We got to deal with it. I get it. I messed up. But we're gonna have to deal with it. But it doesn't matter. She still wants your time, even if she acted like she doesn't. She wants your time. That's the most important thing. That's what the enemy wants to do most is divide the family. So like I refuse to allow me to be divided from my kids.
Tell us a little bit more about your relationship with your daughter. What's good? What's some of the challenges that you're facing as a dad, especially in a non-resident situation where she's not
dominion.
where she's not living with you.
Can I prep him up a bit?
Yeah.
Okay, this guy owns a business, not just a business. At one point, he had 650 employees.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to prep him up because when you have success in business, it's not linear like we think it is. It's not like, oh, it's going to be success like this. It's like nothing and then everything all at once. And then you got kids. And so I want to prep him up because he's got this huge world. Plus, he's a single dad. Plus, so I felt like that was neat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy to know. 600 employees is no joke.
not anymore. Now I just got the debt of it. So I get my daughter Friday to Monday every week.
Oh, dope.
Every week. And that's the schedule. And so it's nice because I get full days with her.
How old is she?
She's 8. But I just know that for me, I struggle with connecting. Like it's stress of work or whatever it is. Like I love my daughter, but I don't know how to like get my brain to come down and connect. And sometimes it's like shame. What I was saying, like I'm ashamed to even like connect. So it like makes you draw back a little bit because the vulnerability of not playing to her satisfaction. It's like you hold that baby that you love so much, and you never want to let it down, but then all you do is feel like you let him down. And I don't. I mean, that's how I feel constantly. Like I'm constantly not able to step into that, and I know that's like a lie, right?
Right.
But it's a feeling you have to process, and I, like when I first became a dad, dealing with the broken home situation, and the way the mom approached it, I'm like, my parents are still married, like, so this was the first time I was like, I understand why guys take off. They don't want to deal with that. They don't want to stay where they're not succeeding, that they're constantly not succeeding, because nurture is not natural to me. Maybe other men like Brandon, who are extremely feminine men, like experience nurture and tears.
Sorry, B.
I mean, like, okay, we do Dangerous Dads together. This guy talks about like what you need to do after your wife has a baby, and it's like everything that a woman wants. And that clip went like crazy because every woman was sending it to their husband or spouse.
We were supposed to have a dad channel. It ended up being moms.
It ended up being
sending
moms
it to their dad.
sending it to dads. Like, look how awesome this guy is. He's so wonderful. Like, it was
just to give preface, my wife's more of the like lack of empathy, hard knock. I'm more of the if the kids are crying, they're running to me. Like that's kind of
That's
well.
funny.
So he got a mail order bride from China.
oh no.
So what is the Dangerous Dads? What is that? I mean, I love that name. That's Dangerous Dads. I mean, what you're going through, what you want to succeed you would think it might be dangerous because you don't want to put yourself out there with her, and you don't want to be rejected by it. You don't want to say and let her down. So I mean, that to me would be considered dangerous, but that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
That's literally what it is.
yeah. I know it's
dangerous to try, to be vulnerable,
Yep.
to give your all, to stand up for what you believe in, to be there for your kids, to fight when you got to fight.
I mean, speaking of what you just said too, is like my daughter. This is last night. My daughter comes over to me and she sits next to me and she's like, "I love you, Dad." And she does this all the time though. I'm like, "I love you, Dad," and I'm like, "I love you too." And she's like, "You're a good dad." And I'm like, "Thanks." Like I'm kind of like, "What's going on? What do you want?" And then she's like, no, because my friend, I think her friend's name, I don't even want to say her friend's name if her friends watch or whatever.
Definitely
but-
say that friend's name. Call out the parents right now.
But she's like, yeah, my friend, her dad, she doesn't have a dad. Her dad left. He just left when I think she was like 8 years old. I think that's what she said. She was like 8 and he just left. And he has a whole other family now, and he doesn't even, she says she hates him and all this stuff. And she goes, you will never leave me, huh? I'm like, I'll never leave you. But it's just crazy that's what we're talking about right now, because this has happened last night. And I was like, that was in my head thinking like, dang, I said, I don't know how you can leave your kids. And I know that people always, I get the feeling you would love to run. Like from this place, I would love to run from my business and move somewhere and where nobody's there just to disconnect.
Me too.
You know? So like, just to disconnect would be great. But it's like that's it. This is it. This is what you have to do. And that's kind of how I look at things.
I think
there is no running.
I don't think a lot of women, no offense to the ladies that are watching, they don't understand that feeling. Like
Women don't understand the
when,
feelings?
When my wife doesn't understand the feeling we're talking about just wanting to disappear. Like when my wife talks about like just needing a break and getting away, right? It's just kind of like vacating. For me, it's very easy to go from like wanting to get away to wanting to give up and quit, right? The weight sometimes of our lives of balancing all of these things. Victor would know, like, I don't just have to carry my stuff, and I got a marriage in my church that is falling apart. So who do you think that they're calling? Right? I got another situation where a friend just finds out that they have brain cancer and or has a brain tumor and going to have surgery, and they lean into Jamie and I, right, for the kind of that's my job, right, the kind of care situation. Bro, nobody asked me how I'm doing. Nobody. And so, like, there are plenty of times that had I not had my 30 minutes, right, that keeps you going, that recenters you, there would be a lot of times, forgive the audience, but that would just be like, F it, man. Because it is not worth the stress or the tension. I was meeting with, I have a very good friend who's a pastor, who's a therapist. And we do a check-in. It's kind of odd. Like he prays, he call me up, how you doing? Or every once in a while,
Is
I feel
this
like
your
I
therapist?
need somebody to talk to. No, he's a pastor who's a licensed therapist.
And you guys check in. Do you pay for therapy?
No, I don't. I
Okay.
have a friend who does what friends should do,
Oh,
Accountability partner.
which is
Just be a
just
friend,
check
really.
in,
Yeah.
right? He cares for my soul, right? Listen, with what I make as a pastor, I don't know what the audience thinks that we do. Bro, I haven't had a change in my income in 25 years. In 25 years. I raised a family in Orange County. I've not had a change in my income in 25 years. I have to keep part-time job hustles going so that we can keep paying the bills. I'm like every other dude out there. So I can't afford my health insurance doesn't cover therapy, at least the kind that I can trust. Because I need a guy who knows me and who knows who I am and who knows what my triggers are. Because we're so close, I called Victor's pastor not too long ago and just was like, hey, Dennis, I don't want to get into it right now, but I need you and Julie to be praying for us. Right? And later on, Pastor Dennis's wife, Julie, calls Jamie. She's one of our closest friends, right? So the girls talk. It's super, super healthy. Dennis, a few days later, checked in. You doing okay? You need to talk? I have some tools and some skills. But I called, my friend's name is Mike. He's about 5-8 years older than me. Just checking in. You doing okay? And the other day, probably a little over a month ago, I was like, no, I hadn't slept in 8 months. I haven't slept consistently through the night since last September.
What was it? What were you going through?
I think it's just a lot. Like, I mean, I don't know that I want to call out my whole church and stuff like this, but like, I've missed paychecks in this year. Right? I mean, if the money's not there at the church, you can't pay the pastor.
Yeah.
Right? Which then you tell me, does that have a ripple effect?
Yeah.
Because it not just affects my checkbook, it affects who else?
Family.
My wife, because her number one thing is security. As long as she feels secure and that I've got things covered and that there's things that she can depend on, even though she wishes that we had some more, income, as do I, because as guys, sometimes our identity is tied to our paycheck, right? It's an affirmation. It's like, man, you're doing a good job, right? This proves it doesn't mean that proves your worth, but like there's a validation every time that the money comes in. When you start having to guess whether or not money's going to come in, Jacob and I were talking about it as it related to the business.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it throws everything. So now my wife is insecure. Now what else do I got to do?
She doesn't show you it, does she? She still
Oh,
tells you, does it?
Man, she tries her best, but she wears it. So now I don't have to just worry about my job, which I'm good at compartmentalizing. Now I got to worry about my wife.
Yeah.
Now my son's going through a challenge in the middle of a career change and about to have a baby in August. And he's like, hey, Dad, what am I going to do? Like, all of that is just weight that we carry.
And can I? Because I'm fat.
No, I'm just.
Like weight we carry is like.
I couldn't imagine.
Well, listen, you can tell when I'm going through stuff because I literally wear it. Like I literally gain weight because the only thing that's acceptable for pastors to do is to eat.
Oh,
right.
How can you eat when
Like
you're
I
not
can't.
getting paid?
Huh?
How can you eat when you're not getting paid?
Yeah. Right. Well, that's what happens. You start eating all the cheap food, right?
Yeah.
So it's a whole journey with men. It's like Jenga, right? It just that you keep moving the blocks and stacking them on top, and everything kind of gets unstable. Now, thankfully, I've walked with Jesus enough. I know my own patterns enough, and you would hope that at my age, I'm not quite 66 yet, Victor, but like I will be 60 in October.
wow, that's so.
It is so old. I can't seriously. When you get there, when you get there, you'll be like, what? How is this possible? But I just feel like I know. I think the way I will tell you this for sure. One of the ways that I'm able to navigate this is I look at my life through only one lens. Am I doing what God has asked me to do? And asked me to do, what I mean is he gave me a wife, so I have to care for her. Right? That's the package. He gave me a job that I have to honor him by doing well to the best of my ability. So if all the things in my life that I'm doing are the things that I'm doing because they're the things he's asked me to do, then there's a promise that he makes on his end, which is I'll give you the ability or the capacity to do it. We don't talk about this enough in the Bible, but Romans 5:3, right? We rejoice in our sufferings because suffering produces perseverance. One of the things that, while mental health for men is a crisis, it's because a lot of times, guys, our expectation is wrong that life should get easier and simpler. When most often we complicate it ourselves, and then we ask people to bail us out. The Bible says we rejoice in our tests because our tests produce perseverance. The only thing that you need in life to make it through in a man is the ability to get up the next day and not run. And he says, and perseverance shapes our character. Because the thing that's happening in all of our lives is God is shaping us. And I wish that we could be shaped through the easy stuff. But we won't be. But we're never shaped through the easy stuff. right? It's always the hard stuff. So I what I have had to do is to develop systems in my life that make sure that I'm doing okay, right? I can't give myself to some of the things that give you those immediate escapes for a minute, because the minute, like, think about how many, the number one thing when we talk about guys who are addicted to porn, they talk about is that after that immediate adrenaline hormonal rush that happens, that they're bound by shame for the next 3 or 4 hours. Shame just eats them up. So you just sit there. So not only have you just had him, had this kind of moment of self-indulgence and self-importance, artificial self-importance, now you've wasted another 3 or 4 hours feeling horrible about yourself so that you can't go on to do the things that you need to do. Right? If we get inebriated, how long does it take you to re-get sober enough to where you can actually take some action on some things that you need to do? You eat a big old Mexican food meal to try to satiate yourself, and all you want to do is take a nap for the next 3 hours. All of the things that we do are to make us unproductive. And productive is not how we measure ourselves, right? Our worth is not in our productivity. But there is something about being a man who learns how to do the things that are necessary to do. And like you've been finished writing a book, Brandon, about kind of depression and men's mental health. And as you've been walking through some of these things now I'm not one of those guys who I just admit, like, I have a friend who's a therapist, like a licensed therapist, a pastor. He understands my journey. I don't feel like I could go to a therapist that isn't personally vested in my success. They need to know my story, and they need to have some skin in the game. That's why it would be very difficult for me to go to somebody who's completely objective, right? And that works for some people. For my daughter, like, she has a therapist, totally objective. What have you been learning kind of in this journey? Because I think you understand that the weight of what men carry and our inability to live up under that pressure on our own has really severe consequences.
Yeah, I started writing this book 9 years ago. 9 years ago. And then I think it was like 5 years ago, I went really hard on this book. And this book is about overcoming anxiety. And so
Anxiety, that's right.
Yeah. No. I mean, it kind of falls on the thing, but I suffered from anxiety for nearly 10 years. Insomnia, night sweats, depersonalization, dizzy spells.
What's depersonalization?
Not feeling like this is real. Like, I went and watched like a movie. Right into the movie, a lot of movies will play on reality, whether what's real or what's not. I left, and it felt like I was on an acid trip, not knowing what's real. And I
Matrix.
I felt like this life isn't real, and I don't know how to explain that feeling. It is not.
What's that
fun.
one with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, when they spin the cap.
Yeah.
Shutter Island too.
Shutter Island. Yeah, those movies. So I struggled with so much anxiety, and then I overcame it. I didn't think I'd be able to get married, have kids, hold a job, and by overcoming through that, it wasn't like by sheer power or strength. I ended up like getting married and having all these things, and then I had last year or 3 years ago, I thought maybe I had some health scares. And I was like, oh my God, this is a big deal. And Sam was there, and I was calling him, and I was like, dude, financially, like, if I go, I don't have nothing set up for my kids well enough that if I'm gone, this is scary. And he goes,
Right.
He calls me up. He goes, dude, God's got you. You need to chill out and not be thinking like that. So I went through all these tests, come to find out that I'm okay. But in that time, I wasn't like freaking out. I was just trying to process my life again. Like, okay, let me unfold. So I started to write that book even heavier. And ironically, the next 3 months, we were going to do this photo shoot, and we had our models there, and they said, hey, who are we shooting with? This guy named Brandon Burgess? Because my mom just looked it up, and my friends looked this up, and he has an obituary, and he's dead. And how is he here shooting with me if he's dead? Who am I shooting with? And I felt like, what a freaking coincidence. This past 3 months, to a year, I've been struggling with just, man, life is short. And at the second I get the news that you're completely clear, this moment happens, and I was like, and he goes, man, you are having something with you this year. And so that year I dedicated, I'm gonna get this anxiety book out, because I was like, this is the one. So to me, this book is the greatest piece of work I've ever done, and it overcomes. So the story is I held onto a cycle of fear in my body. I couldn't release it, chronic anxiety, and the book is just simply about that and how to do that and what that looks like. And I felt like I couldn't go to anybody with that. I felt like I couldn't go up to a pastor or a church. I went to churches and pastors. It was the worst place to go when you had anxiety. You felt shame. I mean, fear. They would say you don't have enough faith. They would push faith on you like it's some kind of action. And then back then, you got to imagine anxiety was in like movies, was like a mental ward kind of thought process. So even as a kid, I thought if I talk too much about what I'm feeling, they're going to put me on some medication, strap me in one of those movies. And that's how at least I envisioned it. I'm not saying that's how it was. And so, my journey through that was one of identity and one of understanding what fear is and the language of fear. And fear speaks through the body first. And no one teaches that in churches particularly. It's like your body sends this signal, and then your mind is trying to play catch up later. Like, what is this?
Well,
And then
that's
you
exactly
fill in
what,
stories.
That's exactly what we were talking about. Like, if I was to boil everything down to this season when I'm not sleeping, it's because there's a root of fear in there, right? Now, this is different than the fear that we were talking about earlier that's related to awe, right? This is this sense of doom, impending doom. And but it's very interesting. Remember back during the pandemic, they always people had T-shirts all the time, like faith over fear and all this kind of stuff. And you know that's never the solution. In a letter to a young mentor of his, one of the apostles wrote, he said, there's only one way to get rid of fear, and it's love. Perfect love casts out fear. And when our whole identity is tied into that kind of perform for love, that your value is based in what you produce, in what you do, in what your services that you're able to provide, then our identity is all tied up into that, because one wrong move and this can all go away. One mistake and I could be outcast and rejected. This could all go up, and fear really begins to grip you. And you're absolutely right. Fear is. You want to know how anxiety just affects it. All you had to do was watch the last NBA Finals game. Best free throw shooters in the world. In the last minute of the game at the NBA championship, they went something like 4 for 9. They weren't even 50%. Because in that moment, right, all the tension, all the fear, all the anxiety, it literally inhibits your body from being able to perform, from being able to function. And there is something about being loved and understanding our identity. Understanding our identity.
Can I share on some things?
Please.
So if you're struggling with anxiety, usually what happens is you're trying to get rid of the feeling. And so what happens is most church language is it's like love. Well, if I don't feel it, then something's wrong with me. If I'm not, and it accidentally produces this performance kind of thing, because they're trying to acquire faith. You're trying to acquire perfection, trying to remove this feeling. And part of healing from anxiety for me was being okay with feeling it. Was like, it's completely okay to feel it. 2 is the identity part. But then when you don't know that your body speaks first, the stories, the thoughts, like if I'm not going to pay my bills, all those things come after your body expresses it. You start to think that that's real because you're feeling fear, or your body's expressing. Like when you're having depersonalization feeling like nothing's real, it's like, well, how am I supposed to just feel love right now?
For sure.
How am I just supposed to have faith right now when I feel like my whole world's falling apart? And that's what fear is. So fear feels justifiable. And so for me, it was coming to a place where you go, okay, it's okay to feel it. And then the practice of being the observer was one of the most powerful tools ever, because you recognize what your body's signaling and then the thoughts that come after it. And most people don't realize what thoughts come after it because they're not present. they're moving to the next thing. When they get bad news, they react, and people are reacting. You give someone the middle finger, they'll give you the middle finger right back. Your wife yells at you, you're yelling right back. Your kids are this, you're snapping. And so the observer is just a state of seeing. It's recognizing what your body's about to do and then seeing it. And when you can practice staying in that space, being okay with feeling fear, just to put it in like a nutshell, you start to kind of recognize that love is present.
Yes.
You start to recognize the identity message is ultimately a message of presence. Because
Yes.
you talk about the past, I can't be here because of shame, so you can't be present. You talk about the future, I have to acquire the future. Suddenly the gospel for me became a message of being present, because that's what Jesus was asking. Was like, what is this?
That's what
famous word?
Jesus modeled.
The kingdom of heaven is where? Is it tomorrow? Is it yesterday? He said it was now. Those who have eyes to see. If your eye is clear, your whole body is clear. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. It was an understanding of now is the state of. And so when I learned that gospel with being with the observer, it changed my.
That's the power of the incarnation, right? That God put on flesh and lived with us. He wasn't just watching us from that. Like, he was in it with us.
Present with us.
Exactly right.
crazy.
And so it's a weird thing to talk about God's. One of the things that we talk about is God is ever present. But that's such a weird concept because it's kind of like eerie. He's just kind of spooky hanging out over us. And instead it talks about, no, he is present with us, which kind of goes back to some of the things that Victor was saying earlier about how, that's one of the, for a lot of people who are not faith-focused people, and we just want God to be our problem solver, and he's not, is he? Like, he does not fix everything right away. He does not. And, like, do you want a God who is...
Yeah, that kind of mindset made it worse, too, because you're thinking of, like, if he's not showing up and doing his thing. But when you start to become present, you're talking about being with your kids, suddenly you're this dad who's doing these wonderful things because you're present. And then if you look at alcohol, it draws you away from the present, and you're not connected.
Correct.
And you're like, every single one of us has something miraculous to give, and when we're present.
I feel like my kids is what made me understand to be present. I feel like that's when things started changing in my brain, and I didn't want to miss nothing. Even when I was still married, I still was like, I don't want to miss nothing. Like, I want to see everything. And then my mom, I always say this story because my mom really like put this in my head at one time. I would be watching TV, and my kid would try to tell me, something that he would want to talk about, a video game or whatever. And I would be like listening to him, but still watching the TV at the same time. And my mom was at my house one time, and she was like, pause the effing TV and listen to your effing kid. And I was like, okay, just hold on. She goes, no, do you think I wanted to hear about Batman? Think I wanted to hear about all this stuff when you guys were coming up to me, talking to me? And she's all, no, but I listened to everything you guys had to say, and I listened. So just listen to him. And I was like, all right. And actually, that's what I do. I've been doing that ever since. I'll stop what I'm doing. I listen to him. And if I'm not doing it right then and there, my son will be like, remember what mom said? Remember what your mom said? So he thinks it's funny. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, oh, yeah. Pause it. And then, but I know what that did when he listened to me when I was a kid. So I know what it does for them. So I'm like, be there. Just be present. That's all they want. Whatever you're watching on TV, are you going to remember that 5 years from now? No, you're not. But that kid is going to remember you listening to him probably for the rest of his life, because that's what I did.
I kind of think that's what God wants from us. It's just for us to acknowledge that he's present.
Yeah.
He dealt with
Right.
anxiety as well. Did you know that?
Oh.
Yeah, he had so much anxiety when he went into the garden right before they were going to come and get him. And he sweat blood.
Yeah.
It was so bad, but yet he got up. And he's gone through everything we've gone through. So if you want to have a model on what he did, that's what you need to go through. He got beat by his father. He got whipped. Got literally whipped, and the wrath of God came upon him for us. And that's what, he's gone through beatings. He's gone through anxiety. He's dealt with prostitutes. He had prostitutes coming up to him. He's dealt with everything that we've gone through. Who would you rather have a king be ruled by? By a king who sits in the heavens, or a king that comes up and dresses like a peasant at night and mingles around his people.
Yeah.
Who would you want to have? You would have a king that's exactly what Jesus did. That's what God did. He came and wrapped himself in flesh and dealt with us. Slept. He was homeless. Didn't know where he was going to lay his head that night. He says, "We're going to follow me," and he did exactly what God wanted him to do. He was present. He focused on who God was all the time. You know, you talked about anxiety, and he's a good model.
Yeah.
You know, look at Philippians 4 talks about anxiety. It's a good chapter. You might want to read that.
I'll check it out. Yeah, for Jesus, the message is expanded in my heart in ways that I never even dreamed of. It's like, you know, for him, the message to me is to be present. When you look at Mary and Martha's argument, whether one was working really hard, talks about the one who was sitting present. And the more and more that comes to me every time I see someone and I give them something to say, I see that their identity is often them running from something, running to something, to become something. When you look at the past, it's something that's broken. So it's like that message just keeps it broad. When I grew up in the military kid, we moved every 3-4 years. No one I knew, every city wanted to be somewhere else. I would show up to every city didn't want to be where they're at. And even now when I look back, I'm like, wow, they don't even want to be there. They don't want to be where they're at. They don't want to be in the job that they want. They don't want to be, no one's present. And the more and more I find that when I go and just sit before God, and the kids, as being a dad, has probably trained me more than ever, because I'm like A to B guy. Me and him relate to that. We got to go, we're moving. And the kids will drop something, fall down, and they pick up a rock, and then they're wanting to show me the rock. And I'm just learning how to be, it's like every day I'm learning how to be more present. And then even the calling to be love, like you talk about Jesus being a king who comes down. Most people will pick power to bolster identity.
Always.
To bolster, we look at numbers on TV, screens, YouTube channels all the time. Numbers, how much money are we making versus what car do I drive? There's numbers and bolsterings. It's like, but here's this guy who could have came down, and even if you don't believe in Jesus, it's an amazing story. Comes down and doesn't bolster himself like we would as a king to acquire everything that we would want and to acquire love. And so every day when I, like your whole, like I resonate with that. It's like my calling is to love. It's like what's difficult right now. It's difficult right now what we're in. It's like, okay, what's my calling? To love. And then it's like you. It's like, what's my calling? To love. Like
Exactly right.
Then you're present, and then I'm always blown away by when I'm present how things unfold better, because we're fully capable, you know, and there's so much talent. And all of us, everyone I meet, I'm like, they're talented people. But most of us, I find when I'm struggling, I tend to live not here now where I'm at. I'm trying to get away from it. And I think, and if it's not happening fast enough, then I'm stressed and angry and anxious. Yeah.
Most of us try to get through the day instead of live through the day.
I wouldn't probably understand what you were saying if I didn't have my kids, because I fully understand.
For sure.
It. I fully understand what you're saying, and I never, I don't know why I didn't think about it beyond my kids, because I'm there. I'm literally present. I'm living in that moment, and I'm fully putting myself in there. But I don't do it anywhere else. Everywhere else, I'm like an autopilot, a robot, robotic, just trying to get through this day of work, get through this day, you know, just trying to. I'm not being present, and I completely understand what you're talking about. It's just, it's crazy. Like, you should be present in everything you do. You get one life, that's it. You know, you should be present in all of it, in bad, good, all of it. You know, it's crazy.
What was your name? What was your name again? Sam. Your daughter's 8 years old. If I could go back in time, I would go back to the time when they were about 8 years old.
Is that when you messed him up?
That's what I But you have plenty of time to put your daughter in the direction she needs to be in. And if your mind is just set on her welfare and her well-being, your mistakes are going to be very, very small. Yeah. And so just if you have her in mind, you're going to send her in the right direction. So don't even think about the past. Let that go. Just let it be a scar on you. Just keep going. This is the time. Her age is the time where everything is going to be remembered. And so you just keep pushing. And just every time you're with her, she's number one. She's number one. And she's going to be okay. So
I kind of believe you.
Hey,
Okay.
listen, your kids only. Again, one of the reasons why I love sports so much is especially like there's been no NBA basketball player who made half of his shots. You can be in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame by only being right 3 times out of 10. Right, and I think that's kind of true with being a dad. Let me ask you guys something. It's a little bit different from my chair, but you 3 guys are business owners, dads. How do you hold that tension between what's most important? Because as Brandon mentioned, for you, Sam, you have employees as well, right? That we're responsible for, and you have your family that you're responsible for. Businesses ups and downs, right? As Brandon mentioned, it's here and then it goes up, and as quickly as it goes up, right, it can go down as quick. What's that tension like between our primary responsibilities as parents and these other practical realities of kind of being business owners and making sure that we're creating healthy cultures that people want to come to work with, and that we want to be a dependable vendor or partner for our other business partners? What are kind of your thoughts between living in that tension?
I want to hear his because he had a lot of employees. Mine, I just turn it off. When I'm with them, I turn off all of it, and it's actually easy for me. Before it used to be, it was hard, but now I just turn it off, and I feel really good when I go home. Like I don't care what's going on over here. As soon as I see their faces, they're like little 2 puppies, like it's so easy for me to turn it off. And I just live there with them. I'm present with them. Whatever I'm doing, and maybe every once in a great while, something will come in because I get a text or something.
Because you also got
happened.
this hobby that takes a ton of time.
Turn it off.
So that people don't know.
Yeah.
Like HOB is not like one of those YouTube channels that's generating tens of
Nah,
thousands.
it's a lot.
Right?
But I turn it off too. All of it's gone. When I'm with them, it's all gone. Unless like I have to do like on Saturdays in the morning, I get up, or Sundays, because I do every day for like 3 to 4 hours. I'll knock out the clips, and then as soon as I'm done with, I tell them, hey, I'm due to the clips. As soon as I'm done,
As soon as I'm done, we're going to call John, have him come film us having a day at the beach.
Yeah, no. With them, I don't do any streaming, nothing like that. It's all them. So when I have them, I don't care what's going on in my life. Even I've turned down really big things to do for streaming because it was my weekend with them. I was like, no, I'm not. I have my kids. I just cut it. I feel like, yeah, maybe I'm gonna miss some big opportunities, but I can spend that time with them. I feel like that's a bigger opportunity. That really, I just put that in my head. They are important. I only get them 50% of the time. I'm going to spend all that 50% with them. And if I do have to trade a day, I trade a day. It's a whole day traded. But that's what I do. I just learned to turn it off, and that's what I do. I would wonder what you do, because 600 employees was a lot.
And a complicated relationship. It's not as easy as splitting 50-50.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's been better. Me and the daughter's mom, it's pretty good. So it's Friday to Monday, but I don't know how to turn it off. I don't understand that, and part of me is grateful for that. Part of me hates it. I'm grateful for it because I'm very transparent and vulnerable. So I'm like I like that I'm that way. I do like my employees know when I'm mad. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I like that because it's easy to hide and lie. But I struggle with stress and then coming home and then trying to connect. But I tend to talk to my daughter about what's going on. Like we had strikes and crazy things, and
You should give history.
Labor strikes.
You should give a history of what you're going through. Tie that if you want.
Yeah, I don't want to dig too much in that, but I've never been able to disconnect from it. I have brought my daughter into it a little bit, and I'm the only thing I think that's good about that. It hasn't been good in a lot of ways because I don't connect right. But one thing has been good is I'm getting sued a lot. So I get people like banging on my door trying to serve me. And some of them are aggressive because they want to serve me. One time they were banging on the door and it scared my daughter. But the first thing my daughter did was go up to the room and she's like, we're going to pray. And I really liked that because I'm like, oh, you've seen me scared out of my mind at work and still just going and praying. So I'm thankful for that one lesson. That's like the one good thing. But yeah, I haven't been able to turn it off. I haven't been able to leave the stressful environment and pretend it didn't happen. But what I have learned is the more you're in those stressful environments and you choose to have a different belief system in them, the you can come home and be more okay. So, like the first lawsuit I received, I threw up. Now I get a lawsuit and I like read it and I'm more laughing. The second one, I would read it and cry. So
Right.
I think that's changed. The muscle of dealing with work environments. You're talking about success. I'm reminded of there's a gentleman named Alejandro that I built a lot of my companies with. He's my foreman in our production facility. We built from 0 employees to 600, and we talked about the stress level of it, and we talked about the good times, which were the times that we were stressed out of our mind 10 years ago.
Right.
When we had like 10 people and we were stressed out of mind sitting there just going, how are we going to like survive? And then now we're here, 600 employees asking the same questions. And his wife said, what has changed? And that got me thinking, because nothing has changed. The emotions of that point and that point haven't changed. Just things get bigger, but the emotions don't change. So it really comes all down to how we're perceiving what we're going through in business. Like if you perceive everything you do in business in a certain way, then you're going to emotionally react in that way. And that's what I'm really, really trying to change in me is, well, be thankful I get sued. I'm sincerely walking in this, like sincerely, like
Being present,
well,
he says.
being present. I guess the thing that I want to do is disconnect is like say, oh, I turned that off. I'm not turning it off because I don't know how to do that, but I do know how to be thankful for even hard times in my life, and I do know how to approach that and maybe change my emotions to it, so I'm not just a zombie when I'm with my daughter.
What's okay mean? You said earlier I'm okay. What does that look like?
I guess being thankful for the next breath I have. I think that's being okay. Is not getting stuck on everything else. Being thankful.
I really like what Brandon was saying, right? That we're not trying to live in the past or trying to be so consumed by the future and what's ahead of us that the things that do keep us kind of grounded, gratitude is one of them, right? Gratitude is a love response. It's a response to love. And I think that that's a really powerful, powerful tool. I want to, I really am thankful for Raiden that
Raiden's been in there.
dude's been lighting up.
He's a
lighting up
father
our
as well.
comments, and yeah, he's been talking about that. In fact, he shared some pretty powerful stuff with us. His dad's suicide. I've been kind of watching the chat as we've been talking.
And we appreciate you watching, Raiden. We appreciate all you guys watching.
Yeah, man. I like what you were talking about in one of our later comments. You can't win every day, but you can learn and grow from these experiences every day. Learning and growing is the one thing that really a man does. If you were to ask me kind of what really defines a man, one of them is just that we learn and we grow. If you're not growing, I would not consider you a man. I still consider you a boy. Growing and changing ongoingly is part of the process because we just never arrive. And then when you come to the place too where you don't have to live, where your life is not just consumed about you. I think that's one of the reasons why God sometimes blesses us with kids, is because it forces us to confront. Think how by nature males specifically are, how selfish and self-centered we are, how much of our world just kind of revolves around us. And I think it's one of the reminders about how God gives us, allows us to partner with him, because he entrusts other people's lives to us. And so our life can't just be about us, but it has to be about their betterment. Yeah, we just want to give you a shout out for being in and participating this whole time. I'm sensitive to the chat, because there's lots of times on a Tuesday night that I'm trying to chat up and get into the conversation of what's going on, and nobody's paying. Jacob forgets to read the chat.
We usually try to go in mid, but sometimes it gets a little crazy in here.
Yeah, thanks for being in here. Let's favorite thing about being a dad. I'm going to start with you, and we'll roll around. Even want to hear what your dad has to say. But what's your favorite thing about being a dad? Your favorite thing about your kids?
Okay, my favorite thing about being a dad is I think nobody looks at you the way your kids do. Nobody loves you more than them. Like the way they look at you is like that whole awe thing. Like the way they like think of you is just so, like right when you walk in, their eyes light up. It's just like, whoa. Like maybe nobody in your life ever will look at you that way that your kids do.
What would you say to a guy who doesn't experience that? Who feels like my kids just look at me like I'm an idiot, or they don't make any time for me?
I think
how would you encourage that dude?
I think you need to be like, listen to them, talk to them, be present with them. I really think that's what you need to do, because I mean, I feel like you can be an idiot and your kids are gonna love you because you're just there. You're just there. Like, I mean, me and my dad had a rough relationship when I was a kid, and I still looked at him like he was the strongest, baddest dude around.
Right.
You know, like looked at him.
It's bred into the hearts of children, right? To want to look up to their dad. And no matter how many stupid things that we do, there still is a part of them that will always do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the coolest thing about being a dad. And I think what I love the most about them, I feel like, is, well, they're so different, you know, but I feel like pieces of me have been pulled apart and put in them. Like my daughter's my wild side, and probably my drive. Like, I'm gonna get through, bulldoze through everything. And my son is my imaginative side. He's always in a different world, and he likes to create and imagine and think, and it's like he pulled pieces of me and put him in two different people, and it trips me out. Even my ex-wife always says they're you. You know, those two kids are you.
Crazy.
And I love seeing how them grow, and even though it sucks seeing them, you know, they're gonna grow up and get out, but it's still cool to see them become who they are.
Yeah.
You know, I love seeing them become who they're becoming, and I feel like I get to see that, and I'm always gonna be able to be around to see that, and I love that. That's cool. You know, that's what I love about them.
Double B.
Creating the magic. I think there was this day where I realized when I left my home, because I had a good home, and I realized, I'm the one that's supposed to bring the magic now. And when I participate in that, it gets like this wonder fills this world, and you realize like you could pour that into anything you do. And I learned that from my kids, and I'd have to say, like, every day we're trying to come up with some event. I do it with Sam. I mean, he's built a slide going down. There's just from his, two-story house just all the way into his pool, and we do all kinds of stuff. I just feel that when you realize you're the magic, and for dads, at least my whole life, from pastors, the curtain gets pulled, and you're like, oh, they're just like me. You get passed behind a business, and you're like, okay, they're just like me. You see the millionaires, and you go, okay, I get that, but there's a cost to it, and you start to kind of understand life, and I just love bringing the magic as much as I can to the kids. I have fun doing that.
Bro, that's
And
that's
so-
such a powerful concept. In Dad, in fact, I'm going to start using that language
That is cool.
because in Dad Academy, one of the principles that we talk about all the time is that a dad, one of his primary roles is that he creates the collective memory for his family. You're the memory maker. Quick little example, like we'll have our newsletter go out this week and talks about with Father's Day this weekend. Like it's kind of a halftime, right, in the year, in the calendar year. Father's Day is like halfway through the year, and so and no game is ever won in the first half. They're always won in the second half. And one of the things we talked about was birthdays, and like the simple. I had a mentor when we were about to have Justin 30 years ago, and he just said, "Hey, you know what? When it comes to birthdays, your wife's going to want to plan the party and do the whole thing and blah, blah, blah." He goes, "Your job is to sign the card. You don't have to buy it, but you have to sign it because they need to know that you're engaged in some way and that your words to them in that moment, by just taking a moment that you, on behalf of the parental unit, sign the card and tell them something that you appreciate about them or that you value about them, is something that is going to add significance to that moment, add some magic to that moment." And my kids haven't kept all of their cards over the years, but each one of them has told me that they have kept 3 or 4 cards throughout their years because something that happened at the right time, the right words, and it creates this collective memory, which memory and magic shapes your identity. Shapes the way that you believe in yourself. It shapes your understanding of who you are because your family has helped to come around you in that way. So, man, I think that's why vacations are important. That's why I think holidays are important in families. That's why I think even like just dad at the beach day or moments riding in the car. It's your
Washing your
job.
dishes
It's your
while you're
job.
washing your
Exactly
dishes.
right. It's
Who would've
your
known
job
my
to create
bed-
memories.
I hate washing dishes. Who would have known that? Been my biggest memory with my dad.
He used to throw the spoons away.
But you
All
throw
the
them away.
silverware- All the silverware he would throw away, or you wouldn't have to wash them.
Oh, that's hilarious. One less thing to wash.
That was before the dollar store, man. Sam, what about you? Favorite thing being a dad? Favorite thing about your daughter?
I think my favorite thing for being a dad, because I didn't want to go back into business till I was gonna have a kid, and that pushed me into, oh, how am I gonna feed this family? And so it's been my biggest motivation, I guess, and driver in my life. So it's kind of funny. The thing that motivates me and drives me the most is also the thing that builds a separation between the two.
Right.
So that's definitely, because like your shirt says, legacy. That's my dream, is to leave an inheritance, like something for them and their kids. That's not just money,
Yeah.
but like actually gives them real lifetime value. Because anyone can give you money, but like a purpose, I guess, a life.
Yeah. Good friend of mine, Terry Gwaltney, Man Up Adventure Camps, actually owns a pretty significant roofing company in southern Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee. Loves men. But this is one of his catchphrases, is that legacy is not what you leave to someone, it's what you leave in someone.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that movie Click? The movie Click
Oh,
with
yeah.
Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember like that movie actually really got me thinking at the end, because I mean, he fought tooth and nail to build himself up, and he just didn't give no time to his kids. And that's why and I really thought about that a lot when I seen that movie. And it's like, and you think, oh yeah, I'm gonna get here at a certain point, here at a certain point, here at a certain point. And he didn't get nowhere he wanted at that point. It was way later and way later and way later. And I used to think about that a lot, and like, wow, like I want to just feed into them. I feel like they're the most. To me, I started thinking like they can be my most successful adventure I ever do.
Mm.
So if I pour into them and build them up, that could be my legacy. That will be my success right there. That's how I look at them now. It took me a while to really see that, But I when I saw that, I was like, that's what I'm gonna do now. And I was that's where the switch was just. I was able to turn it off like nothing. Before I'd be stressed out all the time at home. They'd be talking to me. I'm over here like not even paying attention. I was like freaking out all the time, and I felt like my heart was pounding. I was like always stressed out of my mind. And then when I realized like, you know what, I'm just gonna go with this. And I just turned it off. Boom. And now I can flip it like a switch, like it's nothing. As soon as I get home and I see him, boom, gone. I might be taking phone calls the whole way home, or I jump in after I drop him off at work. He's already calling me. I'm taking calls the way over here, but until I drop him off, the switch is still off. When I drop my daughter off, she's the last one I drop off. Boom, switch back on. That's just how I do it now. I'm like, that could be my best success I could ever do.
That's amazing.
What's your favorite thing about your daughter, Sam?
Favorite thing? I think I love her creativity. She creates little worlds. She's just good at creating worlds, and her dramas, her internal dramas she processes. Because when you watch kids play, you see them practicing life.
Interesting.
And you know, it is interesting. And I watch and then I chime in, which I should probably learn to play with her, but I just like, I don't know if that's the best emotional reaction between those two Barbies. You know what I mean? Like, you know, what if this person's going through this, and maybe I make her think too intense, but I don't know really.
Or you're playing with her.
I mean, I don't have like a filter. Like we talk
playing
about
Barbies, we might need to talk to the therapist about that.
My
Especially when you keep
be
them at
doing
your
this,
house
too.
when she's not with you that week. So
Hey, I mean, I got one in the truck. If you guys, that's my favorite one. But yeah, I think her creativity. I think
That's
really
cool.
seeing kids develop like their super talent, because I believe we all have a gift, right? That
Yeah.
we've been given to give to everyone, and watching that get developed at a young age is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Well, you told us about how you're proud of him being a fighter. What are some of the joy of being a dad to grown-ups?
My thing, when I was thinking about him, you know, I never really thought about that question, but I always used to have it in the back of my head. I always wanted them to be better men than I am, and I really believe that, you know, they are. Jacob, when he was born in a birthing center. There was like an Egyptian room. You walked into an Egyptian tent. They had a big gong on that tapestry hanging, and he came out, all kinds of hair and screaming, never stopped. But yeah, he
Hair on
was
his
like
back
the
then,
greatest-
too?
It was the greatest thing in the world. My other boy, Michael, he was born in a blue room, skies, clouds, plants all over, and it was just like he was a good baby, not like Jake.
There's always one.
Jacob has strength. I mean, he's a fighter. Michael, he's a dedicated. He puts his mind to something, he does it. You know, he just follows through. Yeah, he's disciplined. That's a better word. He's disciplined. And my other son, my youngest, he's 20, and he has an older. He was born in a hospital, in intensive care for like 10 days. He was like almost 10 pounds, but he has an older mentality. He thinks beyond his years a little more. Just needs to be a little quicker, and he gets off that, you know, doing the things that he's doing. But he has an older mentality, I would say. Yeah, my biggest thing is I will always just want him to be a better man than I am. That's it. It's always been on my heart. It's the biggest thing. I love sharing the word with them, all of them.
Good.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeff?
Man, I just had a week with my daughter at home not too long ago. My son and daughter-in-law are close by me, and my son Justin and his wife Savannah are going to have a baby in August. So I'm going to become a grandpa, which is kind of a weird thing to think about. And I've really kind of been torn about it, to be honest. because number one, a lot of people, they just rave about being a grandparents and blah blah blah, and now there's competitions about what you're going to be called. Do you want to have some kind of fancy little nickname? And it was hard for me because I love being a dad. In fact, I just got a bonus daughter like 3 years ago, and I didn't raise her, but man, I love my daughter-in-law like she's my own, and I don't want there to be. I want to be in the top level of people who are cheering her on, that she knows that she can depend on. And so, she asked me one day, like, "Are you excited about the baby?" I said, "Yeah, I'm excited, but like, I don't know that it's ever going to be more exciting to me or better to me than being your dad, than being Justin and Jordan's dad. Like, that's my favorite thing in life." And I was talking to a buddy of mine who's about 4 months ahead of me. I said, "What's this whole grandfather thing like?" Because we both, loved being our kid. He goes, "Something will click in you when you see your child holding their child." And when it talks about how God is love and how it doesn't make sense how God could love everybody more, but there is no capacity for love. And he said, now like your ability to love your child and now their child, it doesn't take away, it's multiplied. And he goes, and the best thing that you get to do is to love on your kid's kid, which makes them feel more loved, which makes your kids feel more loved by you. The more that you love their child, the more that they respond and acknowledge your love for them. And so I'm going to try to be the best grandpa that I can be, because I love being a dad. My son is tall, but he's very thoughtful and kind, like his mom. He's very much a guy's guy, but he's very considerate. He's very kind. My daughter, even though a lot of people say she looks like her mama, poor thing, her personality is all me. Sarcastic and jokey and too smart for her own good, super creative. She's like my favorite person to hang out with. And I'm so proud of her, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this new season has in store. So I've not been down this road before, and so I'll pass on whatever I can to everybody. And man, as we've been talking about this, I'm gonna Brandon, how much longer do you think till your book on anxiety is going to be kind of out there in the world to consume?
It's done. I just haven't printed it yet.
Upload, okay.
Yeah, it's like it's called Shadows and Trees.
Shadows and Trees by Brandon Burgess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why'd you name it Shadows and Trees?
Basically, the way that I saw it was there's these cycles of anxiety inside your body trapped there, and fear is describing something that's real. And so a lot of people, when they come and they would dismiss my fears, it felt like it didn't help. It's like it's all in your head, right? It's all in your head. It's just this. It's just an emotion. It's just a feeling. Just let it go. But there was some kind of truth to it, and the truth was that it kind of grabbed onto something. It described a substance, like I might not be able to pay my bills.
Right.
That's a substance, and it pulls you into the future, and then it lives inside your body as if it's present. And then you start to learn that the mind doesn't know the difference between perceived threats or a real one. And so if you pull that into your body and you hold on to it, it could become a pattern that you actually, and there's studies on it, PTSD from Vietnam guys, like people, my dad has PTSD. So, and you'll see remnants of the same cycle that can get trapped in your body and based off believing. So my book's basically about, the first half is about the body and those cycles that get trapped, and the second is identity and how those two roots, that's where fear grips you in. And if you have a perceived version of yourself that thinks that he's not worthy of love, you'll feel fear when love comes. The same thing with the body. If you get a bump and you perceive that it's go on Google and you think it's 1,000 other things, and becomes a shadow, a description of danger, description of self that isn't. And so, yeah.
That's cool. I understand it now. That's actually dope. I like when you when there's names of things where there's a deep meaning to it, but it has to be explained a little bit.
Oh,
And,
cool.
and as soon as you were starting to explain it, I was already getting it. I was like, okay, that's cool. I get it.
That's cool. Yeah.
You know what? Raiden actually said his thing too. I'm gonna try to read it. It says, "Seen him smile." He answered the questions you were asking everybody.
Got it.
Can you see it?
Yeah,
Can
seeing
you
him smile, knowing his life is full of positivity and support. I'm my son's biggest fan. For the first time, he didn't want to leave his house, my house, to go to his mom's. He loves me more than I ever felt. He's going to be and do what he sees. I hope to inspire him, to inspire others, like I said, man. Bro,
That's
absolutely.
dope.
In fact, one of the ways that we want to help you do that, like, you need to be intentional. Being present takes some intentionality. And being a dad's the only thing that a lot of guys do without a real awareness or intentionality. We're kind of reactive, maybe responsive to things that are going on. But that's what Dad Academy is really all about, is to give you some tools to help you put some things in practice, both to be present and to bring the magic. It's available on Amazon. You can go to dad.academy because we got stuff that's going on, weekly little encouragement and newsletters. And, man, Jake, like always, this has just been a killer segment,
Yeah, it was
man.
dope.
Time to
I liked
time to be
everybody that was
together.
on. You guys killed it, man. You know what? Shout out you guys' podcast and all that too again, just so that the people know it.
You want me to?
Come on,
Daddy,
Shadows.
make sure you're talking to the mic, bro. You're kind of talking. Like
Oh, man.
you know
my
better
bad.
than that.
Yeah,
Your
I
wife will
do,
be all
man.
mad at you since she's the engineer out there. She's like, husband talking to the microphone.
Oh, she's the engineer, huh? That's cool.
No, yeah. Dangerous Dads Club. That's us. And then it's just about dads pursuing our dreams, our passions while raising kids and what that's like. And it's just a bunch of goofballs having a blast. We've done, we only really invested, 8 months into it a year and a half ago. And we did 2 million views and just having fun. And so we have a whole series that we're releasing there and a whole bunch of fun stuff. And from guys who've ran multi-million-dollar companies, I've been in film and marketing for years.
Oh,
so
wow.
I've eaten, breathed, sleep that world. I've been in every niche you can imagine, from video games, Call of Duty, to I've been in it. I've touched every avenue.
Now he
So,
just plays with Call of Poopy.
yeah, just changing diapers now. Yeah, so that's us. And then
What platforms are you guys on?
right now we were pushing TikTok and Instagram. That's pretty
Okay.
much it. And so
You guys aren't on YouTube yet or anything?
now we will be.
Yeah, get on YouTube, Kick, things like that.
Dad
Help you
Academy's
guys.
kicking it up this summer with YouTube. And actually, glad to, I mean, it starts here with At Home with HOB, but in the Christian world, been on some pretty larger venues with Focus on the Family this week, dropping on.
Oh, you're going to Focus on the
Thursday.
Family?
It was last week.
Oh, wow, that's dope.
This week is a podcast
on
called Jesus Calling.
107.9, that one?
And yep.
Oh, wow,
and,
that's
and
cool.
been on K-Wave. So, but actually, Dangerous Dads and Dad Academy, we're looking at starting to do some stuff at some local things where we can just get dads in a room, have some fun, share some journey.
We could definitely
together.
do more too, man. We can always
For
like,
sure.
it could be fun. This is cool. It's funny that when he came on and he wanted to come on talk about Dad Academy, I was already interested because we talked about that a lot on the podcast. Whoever was on didn't matter. We still talked about it. So it was like something that I was really into. So that's cool, guys.
Yeah.
How was your experience
Wait,
on the pod? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
well, I want to ask a question to you too.
'Kay.
Like, it's brutal. Like, what is your biggest mistake as a father? Like, your biggest mistake that if you can go back in time and change, what would it be? And you don't have to say raising him.
No.
I understand. Just kidding.
You know, I've actually, I know the answer to that. If I can go back in time, I would, I knew the Lord back when I was young. When I got divorced, my first wife, I just went right back to what I was doing. If I would go back in time, it would be at that time when she left. Because I should have pursued him instead. I got angry, I got mad, I hated him. I didn't want nothing to do with him. I knew I did what I knew, which was drugs, alcohol, which made me leave everything. And for 20 years, if I can go back in time, I'd go back to that time, because I would, her and I were done. There was nothing that can save that. But how I reacted, I wish I could change that time. For those 20 years I lost, I would go back to that time.
And not get mad at God.
Yeah.
Is that the reaction?
Yeah, to pursue him even more. That's what I should have done. I should have got on my knees more. They say, you get because that's just part of life. But I've always thought that.
So things blew up with the first marriage, and then you blamed God for it and got offended.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
Yeah. I blame
Just
God.
kidding. I did that in my life.
20
Did the same
20
thing.
20 years.
20 years.
20 years. Yep. And then that's when that's okay. And that's when God, he patiently waited, loving me all that time, driving home, waking up in my driveway. How'd I get here?
Magic carpet ride.
Yeah. I mean, praying. The only time I used to pray to him, I said, okay, Lord, don't let me die this way. And I felt done too much. And I felt like my heart was going to pound out of my chest. You probably had those experiences. Say, look, don't let me die this way. Only time I would have prayed to him. But I know exactly what time I would go back to.
That's sorry. This is for my own, if I can learn something, it's from your guys' horrible mistakes.
My horrible mistake was liking myself too much. I loved being a kid, but I always liked being important. I always liked being recognized. I always liked being seen, and I, like a vampire, sucked life out of those moments. I was a kind of guy at a convention that I would talk to you for 30 seconds and then start looking over your shoulder to see if there was somebody else more important that was coming, or I had a inflated sense of self-importance, and that probably did not make me as attentive to my wife and to my kids as I could have been, because I was just consumed with it's the tension that we all live with as guys, right? What's gonna make me successful, right? And so whatever those measurements are, external measurements that somehow you as a man find your identity in, it doesn't matter that my pursuit, my vocation was a religious one. That kind of pridefulness and self-centeredness still has a way of being the thing that shapes you, right? Especially when you get recognized for the things that you do well. When you get up in front of a crowd and you speak and people tell you how great you are, right? And then you go home and you're, your kids are crying and they don't want to listen to you. You just gravitate towards, a man gravitates towards where he finds his affirmation. And I wish I would have focused more in my 30s. And it probably was a 20-year process into my 50s before I started really settling some of these kind of things. If I would go back in general, I think being a kinder and more considerate person would have had even a bigger impact. I mean, I have a pretty good relationship with my adult kids. I mean, the reward of working hard as a dad when they're little is what I'm experiencing right now. I talk to my kids. They're adults, 28 and 30, and I still talk to them nearly every day. If not a phone call, a text, or a shared social media, we're in each other's lives. And I think how much even healthier our family would have been, how much healthier our marriage would have been had my life not been so consumed by me for those main 20 years of my life, from 30 to 50. And I think if I could have let those things come and been more thoughtful as my primary responsibility to the people whose lives that God entrusted me to, things probably would have been balanced. And to be honest, I probably might have experienced a different level of success in my professional life, because I could be trusted because I was giving my priority and attention to the things that were really most important. But again, that's the great thing about being a dad. You don't have to hit 1,000. You just have to hit 300. I mean, that's probably a better question for my kids, and it's one that I ask them all the time with Dad Academy. In fact, I get a chance to speak and do this kind of stuff a lot, and I just tell them, like, okay, you guys, if I'm lying, and so I'm not trying to protect that I was perfect, right? I totally acknowledged the places where I didn't do as good as I could have. What I'm so grateful for is for the kind of people that you have turned out to be in spite of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that gives some hope to some other dads, because I speak from a place of not having some, Disneyland experience with their childhood. We've gone through some stuff, tough times. But that is the kind of thing that gives your life some substance as well. And so, no, I'd probably say that I would, like Brandon, you can't be present if you're only thinking about yourself all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Presence is having some kind of self-awareness, but also an awareness of where you're at and who you're with, and bringing yourself to that situation to serve it, rather than me always looking for situations to serve me. That's what I would change.
I try to find like ways to unplug that. Like when I do that, like when I'm like, oh shoot, I'm not present with them right now. Unplug. I literally think that in my head. Like, okay, unplug, relax, focus on them. That's what I try to do.
Yep.
It's pretty easy for me now. It wasn't like that before, but it took time.
Hey, we need to check on. Oh, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
I just liked what you said, and it kind of got me, was that if you wouldn't have been focused on like the bigger thing you can build in your career, but your kids, it would have built your career.
Yes, because your priorities, right?
And I've never thought of that.
Yeah,
like never thought of that. So like, it's maybe a dumb revelation to somebody, but to me, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, because if your home is stable, like you're a lot more stable.
Yeah.
In any work environment.
I mean, I don't mean to be it's such a cliche, but nobody on their deathbed goes, "Oh man, I should have worked more." Right? Or the reward of their life is, I know I'm not going to be able to use it anymore, but I have an unbelievable boat. Right? That's not what they're thinking about. It's all the relationships that you have, and the fact that, it's the relationships that we have that shape us. And again, it's not just our family. I love one of the things, Brandon, that you and Sam have talked about today, how important the community is that you share together. Friendships and relationships between men is probably another discussion that we need to really have, because a lot of guys live their life isolated. Speaking of living life isolated, John, are you even still awake back there? Because
he's always switching.
There we go. Because like there's been no sound effects this whole show. Usually I'm getting all kinds of wah, 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 and all kinds of.
He's switching. I see switching cameras.
For sure. It's a lot of work, man.
I'm always watching because I always got to make sure the cameras are sweet. He's always on point.
He is, man. That's a hidden.
Yeah.
Hey,
shout out to JV Media, because he has to do this for 2 hours.
Hey, John. John, put the camera on Jacob real quick and run in here and just give us a thumbs up so that the audience can see that it's all dudes, all dads tonight.
Come here. Yeah, you might as well come in real quick over here.
And we'll just leave it right there, because we'll get ready to shout it out here at the end of the. Hey, there we go. Let's
Dad
go.
Academy. Yeah, we had to show John. JV Media always killing it over here.
Absolutely.
He's literally working the whole, because he has to switch cameras. It's not like recording. He has to switch every time someone talks.
Yeah.
So he's like locked in for 2 hours,
Even though he's got a 4-month-old at home, bro.
Yeah,
So
he's a dad too. So
I'm like in there with you guys.
let's go, bro. That's right.
yeah, but just one last thing. How was your experience on the show?
I loved it. Yes, sick. You guys
Cool.
are amazing. Thank
Yeah,
you
fun.
for having me here. I'm honored. Thank you.
Yeah, you killed it, man. It was good. Hey, how was your experience?
We could have like done better. Like, I feel you guys got to work on things. You know what I mean? Like we started a
Give us a
level.
list
Like,
later.
start a level. No, I'm very thankful. But I always I love hearing really raw things. You know, I do like in the beginning you said you were seeking God, but you haven't arrived. You haven't arrived, and I don't know. I think you arrived, man. I think you arrived. You shared things that really touched me and spoke to me. I'm gonna try to find my off switch. I just hope it's not in a spot that I can't talk about.
How about your dad? How was your experience on the show?
It was comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally like when I preach, I get a little nervous and I always feel like I'm gonna forget. I came in here just thinking, okay, I'm just gonna sit and see what happens.
Yeah. How about you, Jeff? I already know.
Bro, man, we talk about it every time. Like, I don't take it for granted that I get this opportunity for someone to share their platform with you and to feel like you bring some value. I mean, to be a regular guest, and I mean, I even think, no joke, I really shout out Mel and Millie, you know, resigning their seats this week so that we could just talk with the guys. I mean, this is a part of what they do as well, right? Mm-hmm. This is they're vested in this whole process as well. They're the co-hosts that really make this kind of thing happen with Jacob. Melanie's the one who schedules all of the guests and stuff like this. And so shout out to the girls again, because the last few months when we've been together, I mean, usually it's been crazy. The last few times it's just been the four of us, just having conversations, and it's been great. And they've learned to trust. And so, but again, thank you for sharing this platform.
Well,
and thank you for being committed to guys, and having this special one. And to all the dads out there, man, keep going. You know, again, legacy is not something you leave to someone; it's something you leave in someone. And, let's. I
look at it as we're all sharing though. So I even though I'm sharing the platform, I look at it, you guys are sharing with me. So like this is what I like. This is what I want to build. Like I don't look at it as it's all me. It's all everyone that comes on here. Like you're a regular. Like I look at it as you're part of Howls Over Baaz. Like it is what it is.
This is part of, like, family. I know is an overused term, but like when people share their lives with you and open it up, I kind of think that that's what it. I think that that's what it is. So, yeah, thanks. Yeah,
we appreciate all you guys coming on. Our slogan is "Shed the Sheep." Basically, kind of self-explanatory on that, right? Yep. Shed the sheep. So on 3, we're gonna look at this camera and say, "Shed the sheep." Ready? 1, 2, 3. Shed the sheep. Howls Over Baaz. I'm Jacob Casas. We'll go around the room. Say your name again one more time.
Brandon Burgess.
Sam Shinhofen.
Victor Casas.
PJ, Pastor Jeff Hamilton with Dad Academy.
Appreciate you guys watching. We will be back at 8:15. Peace. We're out.